what time it is. Amateur and the coach. Amateur and the coach. And let me tell you again, we're talking about amateur and the coach.
Well, here's our first episode, Amateur and the Coach.
We are live.
We're live.
We're not live, are we?
Not that live.
Not that live.
No, we're live breathing, but not.
We are alive.
We are alive. So yeah, it's our first show. Kicking it off. This is our pilot. We do apologize. I heard that some people had some, I guess, audio difficulties, or it wasn't the best.
We had technical difficulties.
Right.
So all of the audio was from the camera and not the microphone.
Mm-hmm. So we had that little mix-up, but we do apologize for all that.
Yeah.
We're getting better. Give us a break. We're getting started, but as soon as we start getting this little baby bird flying, we ought to be okay. Dude, I tell you what,
we got 3 chairs here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We should address this.
Let's address this and just get this.
Okay.
This thing out of the way, I guess. Today, we were supposed to have our first guest, and that's what we're so excited about. We're going to celebrate our first episode. We wanted to give you guys a treat, someone who you knew from the community, someone who, pokes the bear here and there. He's very popular on Facebook. He's also a business owner here in Lawton.
An important part of what we're trying to do.
The community. So we were trying to bring someone in from there. Right. We were going to have Emmanuel Alfaro. But I believe he might have some difficulties in coming in. So it's starting to seem like he ain't going to be here today. We do apologize on that aspect. We did want to give you guys a guest, but the show must go on, as they say in the theater. But we will be having guests on, and our next guest will be here. We'll make it up to you guys in the future. No big deal. The amateur coach, one thing we do know is we got to keep on moving. So
that's true.
So yeah,
we're half an hour behind almost, and
a little bit.
It's time.
A little bit. I want to throw a shout out to Sandy, our director of communications. She did a great job. Hope you feel better and get see you back in here. But you know what? I'm getting ready for hunting season, brother.
Hunting.
Yeah, dude. Listen, this the beginning of the month, dude. I think archery season begins the first week of October, if I'm right. I'm not quite sure. But I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to go set up. And I know, listen, this is controversial when it comes to hunters. I don't even know how you feel about it. But
an important part of the ecosystem.
Sure. But I'm going to go on some private land.
Okay.
I'm going to set up a feeder.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to pick a spot about 20, 30 yards. I'm going to try to set up a blind of some sort.
All right.
And, let them get used to it. And then I'm going to go in there with my bow and do my, my old sneak attack. My old assassin from the dark. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. It's been a long time since I've hunted. And I was fortunate enough. I've been here forever. I haven't been able to hunt since I've been here in Oklahoma. So I'm really excited about it, man. So I'm growing this semi-beard here.
Yeah.
I usually don't rock this. I haven't rocked some facial hair in a while.
Right. You're usually very suave.
Right.
Smooth.
But I figured that, winter time's going to get cold. I don't know what it is, but I thought that, being out there in the hunt, being aggressive, just really getting into it. I'm even letting my old chest hairs grow, and I ain't got many, but just I feel like alpha. I'm pumping myself for this hunt.
Are you gonna starve yourself? Are you gonna fast leading up to this?
So I can get that keen sight, keen smell.
Tap into that
Right. No, I'm not gonna do that. No, I like food way too fucking much.
Yeah.
But I have been, it's been I tell you what, it's been forever since I actually also seen someone field dress a deer. Which is, it's not as difficult as it looks, but it kind of looks,
Well, it's not something you want to half-ass, right?
Well, you sure don't want to hit that and then ruin all the meat and whatnot. So I've been watching just nonstop these YouTube videos on how to do it and how to hang it up. So if anybody got any tips, please comment so I can, know what I'm doing. I don't want to ruin something. But I did call around here in Lawton Meat Processing. They do it. All you got to do is take your deer there and they'll hook it up for you. So I'm looking forward to it. I know it's my animal activist side of me is like, dude, come on.
Well, there's too many deer in America. Deer are probably the most dangerous animal in America, statistically.
What do you mean, for farmers?
Well, just for people in general, we run into them on the road, and they carry ticks, they carry Lyme disease.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I'm sure I saw it on a documentary or
Right.
some shit.
No,
I'm
the
sure
Lyme
I'm not
disease,
making
right.
this shit up.
No, the Lyme disease and the ticks. No, for sure. I've heard
Okay.
all that.
Yeah.
And then the overpopulation at times.
Yeah, for sure.
I
So,
think, I've heard they eradicated some off Hawaii.
yeah, I don't know if deer are supposed to be in Hawaii.
Yeah, I heard they were just messing up all the farm life. And I got this information from, I was watching The Fighter and the Kid. So OB and Brandon Schaub were talking about how they had, and I think Rogan also said something about how they eradicated all the deer off Hawaii.
Well, if it came out of Rogan's mouth, I'll
You believe him
I'll
more
look into
than you do my boys?
Of course.
What? They do a lot of bro science.
Brendan Schaub says one thing and then says another thing. You know, he has terrible takes all the time.
He does. Well, it's
Does.
He's
I agree. That's probably a shtick. But, you know, whenever he said Weili Zhang was going to get waylaid by...
Andrade?
Yeah.
He said that?
Yeah. You haven't seen those clips?
You're talking about his new show that he has called what is that called? Watch or something?
Below the Belt?
Yeah, Below the Belt.
Something like that.
Yeah, Below
I'm
the
not
Belt.
sure. Yeah, maybe, because there's some
That's what it's
people on
called.
it that
Yeah.
I didn't recognize.
That's about the only time I really hear him like go hard. At
But
the
then
thing.
afterwards he was like, man, I don't give a fuck about women's strawweight. Whereas before, he put it in his top three. Number 3, if not number 2, women's strawweight. You know, right now we got lightweight, and lightweight. And that's all that we got.
Right.
I almost call it light heavyweight. Welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we just stick with the weight classes that we all agreed upon initially? Why can't it just be 175 is light heavyweight, 160 is middleweight,
Hey, I don't know why they do the things they do.
147 welterweight?
But I tell you another thing to kind of that I found interesting. Now we're in the sports section. Is that last night
we need to take us there.
No, but I'm saying last night I went to my kids' football game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So we're out there in Cash watching the old football game. Great football game.
yeah.
And so she had told me last time she went, and I've never really experienced what she was talking about. But she said, Dad, it's like the whole town shows up.
Mm.
You know, and I'm thinking, what? So we went last night, you know, and
You know, we just go down to the Hardee's and we get ourselves some grub and fuel up for the big game. We rested up for.
yeah, they were playing Marlowe.
So fuck Marlowe, you going down? You going down?
Well, Marlowe took Cash down.
Oh, son of a bitch! Vengeance!
Yeah.
Vengeance will be had.
Still, though, it was a great game, battles back and forth. But what I'm getting at is I went to the game, and dude, it was like a miniature NFL game.
Wow.
Like, the stadium it's legit. Like, you can tell that they take very good pride in their, you know, academics. They take good pride in their sports and their athletes. Dude, like I said, the field is nice. I mean, you can tell they spend some money. The track, the size of the field, the ability to hold the amount of people that I seen last night, 300-400, if not more.
Ooh.
And the charge fee at the door was not like, you know, it wasn't light. I mean, it wasn't heavy or nothing. But at the same time, if you do the math, and I know some mathematicians, dude, generating some dough, you know. And they do a lot for the community. You can tell that Cash is really cherishing from these football games. I mean, it felt really good belonging to something like that, especially, you know, now that my kid goes to that school and everything's good. But the game really blew me away, how everybody was so supportive of the football team. And you don't see that every day. I've been to games here in town, and I mean, some parents come out. You see some school pride, but not to the extent that I seen last night at Cash. It was actually kind of like I was kind of taken back a little bit. It felt like the whole town was actually supporting their kids, man. It was a hell of a community thing. I really felt good. I mean, shout out to Cash for supporting the football team, the school, the kids.
Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Bulldogs. Yeah, Bulldogs. They might have not found victory last night, but it wasn't because of lack of trying.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what, the defense, they have great defense. So yeah, that's what my light was night. And besides the football game, what really got me there is, man, I'm going through these things in my life right now, brother. Yeah, like I'm going through this transition between My kid's getting to be a teenager now.
Yes, yeah.
So I've never been a dad to a teenager before.
Right.
So I'm learning this transition, man, that, I never thought that I was going to go through these growing pains myself, that it wasn't just my daughter that was going to, become a teenager, that I was going to become some morphin or mutant parent that I didn't know I had to be. And so this whole football game was part of that. And the way it started was, I had already mentioned to my daughter that, hey, you know what, let's go to the game. You told me it was nice, and she was kind of hesitant already. So the hesitation, So the hesitation of me going to the football game was kind of gave me the clue to be like, what's going on?
Well,
so
you are kind of the parent that.
Yeah, I know. I'm growing. I'm learning. So this is all part of that.
Okay.
So she says, so she was kind of hesitant. Your sister told me, she was kind of worried about me going. And not only that, I'm so competitive in everything I do that I get super excited. If we were playing ping pong,
yes,
I would be just raging out about winning.
Yes.
It's just how I am. I can't help that. So I get all into these games. Next thing you know, I'm yelling and I'm screaming. I'm like running with the football with the kid, and it kind of embarrasses her and her friends. That's your dad over there getting sidelined Juan up there. And
he still got it.
Right.
Dad,
right.
stop.
So I knew something was up. So I was like, I kept pushing. Well, let's go to the game. So we ended up going to the game. And as we're walking in to find seating, because it was packed, I'm trying to find a seat somewhere. I said, well, I'm going to sit right here. And I knew she was going to go hang out with her friends. I mean, I remember high school. That's what it was about. You go, you hang out at the games with your friends, walk around. I mean, I get it. I remember.
Yeah.
But before I could say, hey, I'm going to sit right here with your friend, I looked back and she's gone, dude. I was like, this girl. I said, I already knew she took all her friends. She's seen her friends and whatnot. And the way I like they have it set out is that in the bleachers, they actually have sections where the students can sit. So when they do like the rallies and the cheerleaders do their thing, the football players actually get they get support from the students. They get support from, and it's loud. I mean, it was really cool how they kind of do that section like that for them. Well, that's where she sat with her friends, of course.
Yeah.
And that's when I seen them.
The boys.
The boy.
The boy, the singular boy.
The boy.
Der Junge.
The boy that's coming.
El Niño.
The one that I've been dreading my whole life.
Okay.
He's knocking at the door now. So I look over there and I see my daughter and she's with this boy, and I'm like, oh, so you know me already. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so anxious, because she's my baby. I haven't experienced this. So on top of the hundreds of people that are there and how loud it is, I'm facing that anxiety, and then my kids over there. I can't be like, ah. So I noticed that this whole thing was about her meeting the boy and whatnot.
Right, yeah.
So I got one eye on the game, and I got one eye on my daughter. And I'm shifting between eyes because I can't, so I'm just constantly like I'm enjoying myself but not enjoying myself, and then I see movement. I'm thinking, is that an arm? Is that, so I'm in that stage.
Wow.
And as a dad, I've never been there. So I was just like, how do I take this? So I'm there trying to process.
It's a lot of anxiety in two directions and things you can't control.
Right. So there I am on the 4th, on the 10th yard line, and I'm over here like, and then I see the kid over here trying to eat it, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do, and I'm trying to process everything and whatnot, and trying to come to terms that she's in that stage, she's at that age that she's curious, and I have been very strict, and I have been very at times very understanding. So finally everything rolls up, the game's starting to end. And I see her come up, and she comes up to me and she says, hey, Dad. She's, I
want you to meet Antonio.
Yeah, exactly. She says, I want you to meet my boyfriend. Now, first of all, I want to give my daughter credit for the simple fact that she was brave enough. And if you know me, she was brave enough to swallow whatever that knot she had in her throat, come up to me and say, hey, Dad, this is somebody who is my boyfriend.
Well, what's the alternative? She's not going to say anything and just wait for you to bring it up?
Well, the whole thing has been maturity thing with me, is that you have to reach a certain level of maturity, because dating and all that is a grown people's game. I mean, you get it wrong until then, and even when you're then, you get it wrong.
Yes.
So it's very difficult, confusing thing. So I just don't want her to snare herself or fall in a situation where, because it's confusing for adults. So imagine it's confusing for kids. So she came up to me with this, and I'm like, yeah, sure. So I turn around and I can see this boy, he's just kind of shaking, I can see he's super nervous and he super has the anxiety now, and I'm walking up to him and he says, Mr. Ortiz, he said, how you doing, sir? Nice to meet you. And I shake his hand. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you, and it's good to see you. I've heard a little bit about you. I said, but if you like to sit and watching the game, he says, no, I'm about to leave. My parents are here to pick me up. I just wanted to come over and introduce myself and say, friends with Christina and whatnot. And I was like, well, in my mind, I'm thinking, good boy. At least he had the courage to come over.
Right.
Or the second thought is, my daughter punished you so hard that you had no other choice but to come over here and say, how you doing, sir? So either or, I give him a little bit of credit, he did it, whatever. So he leaves. My daughter says, so what do you think,
Jordan's one son.
So once the game was over, she comes up and she's like, so Dad, what do you think? And I was like, I wanted to say, don't you ever see that boy again. But I was like, listen, it takes a lot, and I see that you're really trying to mature yourself and trying to, at least you took, the initiative to come up here and say, hey, Dad, this is what's up.
Yeah.
And we'll see where it goes, She told me a little bit about his parents and whatnot,
Okay.
So it's something I'm embarking on, trying to learn, trying to ask, I told your sister about it, and of course she was, very proud of the growth that I have shown, the restraint that I have shown. But it's a learning curve, and I'm trying to learn it. I know that she's not going to be a baby forever. It's just hard letting go, man.
Oh, yeah.
Super hard letting go. Yeah. So I'm going through that transition right now in my life. And any advice? Let me know. I'm really.
You're ahead of me there. My oldest daughter is 7.
Right. So that's what's up in this way, So yeah, that's the deal. But I am happy with, like I said, I'm glad that we actually starting to get a little motion, a little more inertia on this show with our first podcast. I just, of us getting out here and really trying to make, introduce what we're really trying to get out, and that is really,
hopefully,
get the community thing.
Are we set here? Or
Everything's good.
Okay.
I'm just concerned about the camera battery.
Right, we're still rolling with the camera.
We're still
Still dealing with the technical difficulties.
So we just gotta make sure everything's sharp.
I wonder if the ring.
What about it tapping? Makes a difference in the sound. No, I think we're good.
It's
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good. And this weekend, tomorrow is the fucking Gaethje and Cerrone fight,
man. Gaethje storms out fast, sir.
I just think Gaethje's got
Cerrone's
better
a slow starter.
No, and that's true. He does. But I just think that he's got more arsenal, better stand-up.
Yes, he does.
Do you want to place predictions and see how we come out next episode?
We can do that.
We can do that.
I think predictions are stupid, but okay.
Sure, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, so what do you guys think?
Sure. Well, I'm going with, if I had to put, gun to head, I go with Cerrone. Donald, the Cowboy Cerrone. I think that his kickboxing experience and those leg kicks are going to be too much for Gaethje.
He does a lot. Dude, Gaethje.
Is he like Chun-Li with them kicks?
No, he's got good front kicks. He's got good intercepting knees.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's like dynamic or anything.
He's got good straight punches.
But he's a good kickboxer.
He's not a front runner. He blooms in the later rounds, and Gaethje is a fucking man on fire.
Yeah, especially in a 3-round fight. He's a beast.
Is it
this is a fight? No, this is a fight. It's a main event.
Oh,
yeah, 5. So
hopefully,
I see after the 3rd round, Gaethje might slow down a little bit, and that's where Donald, kind of kicks up his.
Will he make it that far?
Listen, this is the only reason why I'm thinking that Gaethje might not have enough ass to knock out Donald.
Yeah.
Because Donald's been in there with the likes of Darren Till.
Yes,
he's been there with the likes of Mike Perry. Did he fight Mike Perry? I think he fought Mike Perry. He's just been in there with some real hitters.
He's been in there with the hitters. You're correct.
And
is Gaethje a hitter? I don't know.
Listen, no, Gaethje's a hitter, dude. He's 17.
Swarmer.
He has
He's
17
a low kicking machine.
The man has 17 knockouts out of his 20 fights.
Yeah.
That's Gaethje for you.
Well,
I'm not saying he's not a knockout man. The dude will knock you out. I'm just saying that I think Donald Cerrone's jaw is a little more tested.
I don't know what to say. I gotta go Gaethje because you said Cerrone, don't I?
No, that's not the way it works.
That's the rules.
That's not the way it
That's
works.
the rules. I say Gaethje. Gaethje, third round TKO.
A good fight would be Gaethje against Robbie Lawler.
Could go exactly the opposite.
Now, Robbie Lawler against Gaethje, that would be a fight of
Robbie
a
Lawler's
fight for the gods.
Big old boy.
170? Gaethje can't get up 170, bro, all day.
Gaethje normally fights at 155, though.
He sure does, but I bet he walks around about 175.
And Robbie Lawler, when's the last time Robbie Lawler fought at 155?
He just fought and lost against Kobe Chaos Covington.
At 170.
At 170. Yeah. That was the deal.
Can you remember a time when Robbie Lawler fought at 155? I don't think ever.
No,
32nd of February.
No, not offhand.
Okay.
Not at all. No.
So-
No.
We'll give the other guy a bag of nickels to even it out.
Which one, Jordy?
We'll give the lower guy a bag of nickels to even it out.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work. No, not in this show.
No, you're going to get disarmed real fast in the clinch.
Right.
You're not going to get to use that back in nickels.
No, you won't get far with that. But anyways, that's what's up with the fights. That's about the only one really that I'm excited about. Once again, I don't like ESPN Plus, but
I hate this ESPN Plus.
Yeah, the whole platform. I'm not a big fan of
You
it.
can't put a paywall behind a paywall.
Did you hear about
What's
the
that?
Bitcoin mining that they were doing a few years ago?
Bitcoin mining? No.
People that would tune in online through the ESPN portals, their servers that you from had malware that would have their Bitcoin mine on those machines.
Oh,
That's
that's
So
amazing.
amazing.
pretty much stealing from people while playing.
Right.
You're making money off it, essentially. Really crazy.
Right.
Really crazy.
Oh wow. No, I did not know that.
Well, they aren't using the
what?
processing power or whatever.
No, but I did see where they're starting to manipulate the aging process in people. They can they found out that you have some kind of clock in you somewhere in the cell level. And they're able to kind of manipulate those cells where they can kind of give you slow down the clock where you can be at least 2 years younger. Physically, body-wise, so you're biologically,
Right.
correct.
I got you.
And they're messing around with it. And if you really want to see it, I was watching on Joe's podcast.
Yeah.
And
Nick Bostrom? Not Nick Bostrom.
Was that him? I don't know. A doctor came out there. But it was pretty interesting. I watched some of it. He was talking about it.
I don't know, the episode before Nick Bostrom.
I was thinking here in 30 years, people will be about 150 years old and look like they're, 60.
So
It's going to be freaky.
Right.
what do you think is going to be the next big advancement? Because we're already 3D printing skin for burn victims. We're already able to teleport.
They go 3D prints right down the hall.
Yeah, we do. But they have organic, they take a stem cell material and they'll farm it, and then they'll take an MRI of the burn victim's body where it peaks, and then they'll get that skin graft and kind of print out.
Right, I've seen that before. They've done ears that way.
And it's fascinating. It's fascinating. If a wrench breaks in space, you got to think about how many wrenches do you need, right?
Well, they're doing the same thing with this whole talk with going to Mars. They're going to use 3D printers to make the houses.
Yeah, everything.
So they're using some kind of rock material that I guess I'm not really sure on what type of material they're making out of, but they're making out of 3D printers. So they're going to go and set up their 3D printers, and then the 3D printer will make the house. And it's pretty dope. They have stuff on YouTube to show you what they're talking about. The Mars landings.
Uninteresting.
We have cement mixers that do that now.
It's advanced.
Staying on Earth.
This is where the party's at.
I've seen Wall-E, okay?
This is where the party's at, dude.
The success.
Who wants to go to Mars anyways, dude?
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there, dude.
Looks like New Mexico.
What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah,
Or
correct.
Arizona.
Yeah. Either or.
I don't know what I'm talking shit
What
about.
happens whenever we get to
Mars.
Mars? We find Viking ships.
What?
Fair enough. Well,
They explored everything. That's hilarious. Yeah, man. I'm still. You know what, brother? I still feel kind of sour about Emmanuel LaFerra not showing up because I was really hyped about it. You know.
well, he was a great first guest.
So I really started thinking about it. So I immediately I just called my boy, Marshall Marks. I think his middle name is what was his actual? I think his name was Rebels. Yeah, Marsh Rebels. He's my boy, man. I've known him for at least 5-6 years now.
Okay.
I called him up. He's supposed to show up, save the day. See, there's my boy now. What's up, baby?
How's it going, man?
What's up? I was about to tell my brother a little bit about you as soon as you walked in, man.
Welcome to the
Appreciate it, bro. Hey, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too.
Man, have a seat, man. Welcome to the amateur and the coach.
Nice to be here.
Man, listen, I really appreciate you coming in on short notice and everything. We talked it up a little bit, chopped it up for saving the show. We're supposed to have another guest. The audience already knows about what's popping, but I got my boy in here now. He's gonna save the show. Marsh Marks, man. Yeah, brother. So how you been, man? How's it going?
Been good. Life's going pretty good right now.
Is it?
Yes,
What
sir.
have you been up to? What are you cooking up?
Oh man, just doing karate and boxing, and then also working for Central Middle School.
Wow, bro.
So,
Man, you got some things going on right now.
Yeah.
Man, dude.
He's like a superhero.
Dude, a superhero, bro. No, and you know what? Like, and I know I've never really confessed or said this to you before, and we've known each other for a couple of years. I mean, as long as I've been at Cameron, that was at least 6 years. And then outside the MMA game, when we first started out, when we first got in 2011, 2012, boy was rolling, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really trying to get into the MMA scene at that time. So I've known you for a long time, and I know that you've always driven me and given me inspiration, especially, and not because, like, once again, not because of, and I hate the word handicap, because it makes you, like, it feels like I take something away from you.
right.
But your disability, not even that. See, I hate those words.
Right.
I can't find, I feel like I can't find the proper word. But even the challenges that you have been faced with, that inspires me so much, man. Because I know plenty of people who've had everything given to them and can't do an iota of what you've done with your life.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And that, to me, and this is what the show's about, is that I'm trying to find, like me and my brother-in-law, we're trying to find people in the community who are actually making Lawton better, who are inspiring other people. Whatever difficulties they might be facing, man, you say a lot, man. You say millions, man. I can't even express how I'm just glad you're here, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
And it's like I said, for the first show, the first episode, I couldn't have had anybody better. I should have rocked with you to begin with. Rock with who you know. You know what I'm saying? Aggie brothers.
That's all right.
I should have kept it that way, but it's all good. Lessons learned is part of the biz.
For sure.
Well,
We are heavily into that combat sports scene.
Oh yeah.
So you're a boxer and a karateka.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I also wrestled.
Okay.
And dude, and not talking about no shabby
whole
wrestling,
deal.
dude. I mean, a proper wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, he could hang, dude. I've seen the men hang.
Yeah.
I mean, I was impressed. That's how I was, when I was like seeing him roll. I kind of twisted. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, am I seeing that right? And and when I seen him was back here on behind Lee.
Yeah.
Was a gym back there, and a lot of people don't know about this. This is back in the day.
Yeah.
And I walked in there because I was looking for a place to train. And there I seen this man rolling, and I said, this man can't be rolling, dude. Not just rolling, positioning, transition, controlling. I mean, I was like, damn. So I started talking to some people there, and they were telling me, yeah, man wants to be an MMA fighter. He's trying to change the game, because at times MMA can be very, discriminatory. Sometimes against women, sometimes against men, and especially when athletes, and I say you're an athlete because you're an athlete, bro, shown and proven.
Right.
To discriminate you over something that you didn't even consider a challenge, it was just not even an obstacle for you, and for them to see it as one, it always rubbed me wrong in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I seen you scrap, baby. Shit. I wouldn't want to get in front of you, man. Forget that. You know what I mean? And what are you gonna do? You're gonna kick that? Good luck. That shit hurts, son.
That's
You know?
what I have.
It's no shit.
Yeah.
Wow, they actually did you dirty. They actually went for it, huh?
They tried. I mean, like in a lot of my one training partner, he does it like for conditioning purposes, but it's fine.
Right, just trying to. He's just rocking your legs, bro.
Okay.
I believe the term is Daniel sweep the leg.
Yeah, exactly. Dude.
It's like Daniel break your leg on the Terminator.
Wow, dude, he's doing the old Tony Ferguson, bro, kicking pipes and shit, kicking pipes. So let me ask you, where you from, bro? Where I mean, are you originally from here? Or?
Yeah, born and raised from Lawton, Oklahoma.
All right, right on, man. So you're an OG.
Yeah.
Making it real. That's what I'm talking. This is what I'm talking about. The type of people who actually have roots.
Yeah.
You know. Did you go to? What high school did you go to?
I went to Eisenhower High School.
The Eagles.
Yeah.
I see, man.
Eisenhower High School.
And how did that go? How was that experience?
It was cool, honestly. I mean, no one really messed with me. I kind of just stayed to myself,
Right.
kind of like now. Just
You
didn't
face,
bother
you didn't face a
anyone.
lot of bullying or anything?
Nah. I was, from time to time, I would use a wheelchair,
All right.
and so I would like speed down the hallway, so no one.
yeah.
Like the principals called me Speedy and everything. Like,
Right.
And so no one really tried to mess with me. They just knew me as the guy that was like always speeding down the hallways, and you hear the wheels.
Right. Just
Yeah.
skirting.
Drifting corners and everything.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, and not to not to be too frank or nothing, but what happened? How did this occur? What happened in your life?
My bones were underdeveloped as a baby.
Yeah.
And so I was born without my fibula in both legs, and I didn't really have a kneecap in my right leg, and my feet were kind of deformed, I guess you could say, kind of like they broke in the womb or something.
Right.
I don't know. It's really not a.
Not a case. It's
yeah.
not a big. You're right. I see. They don't know much about it.
Yeah.
I see.
And then my mom had, I guess, a dream of me walking one day. And then her and my dad made the decision to get the amputation for the chance of me to walk. And here I am.
Wow. I can't even imagine what your parents would have gone through.
Man.
I mean, to try to make that decision,
Right.
And to decide and not know.
Yeah, that's a tough decision.
Because as a parent, there's no manual.
Yeah.
No.
It's like yes or no. You're so uncertain, man. Wow.
Right.
I give shout out to your parents, man.
Oh, yeah, me
How
too.
brave is that?
I
Man?
let them know every day.
Yeah, dude.
Every chance I get.
That was so amazing of them, and that's huge. That's huge, man. So I guess you started learning from a young age.
Yeah. I got my first pair when I was about. The surgery happened when I was 1 or 2, so 3 or 4 I got my first pair, and of course I was stubborn about it. I didn't really want to use them.
Right.
When once I used them, I got used to them, started wearing them more, and just got active. Tried to do everything the other kids did.
Right. So as an early age, you never felt like you couldn't compete or be involved with normal, like just everyday kids. I mean, you didn't feel like you were different, or you didn't.
I really didn't. I didn't have much of a choice because my family wouldn't let me.
Man, that's.
So I give a good shout out to my family for it, especially my sister. Oh, she was so tough.
Was she?
But yeah, like anything that they did, I did. So whenever it was time to learn how to skate, I attempted to learn how to skate. I didn't get that down, but
You were never excluded.
Yeah, I never excluded.
Right,
So
man.
whenever they learned how to ride a bike, I learned how to ride a bike.
That's so huge.
If they went to the pool, I went to the pool. I might have had a floaty, but I was still there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So you're very present in the moments.
Oh yeah.
They made you like an actual member of, like, they never used your handicap or anything against you. Or
No.
That is so dope, man.
Well, you must be quite good, forgive the expression, but the footwork in boxing is demanding, and
Yeah.
so is karate in a totally different way.
Right.
Not many people can do both of those well. Yeah. Like Marcus Aurelius says, the impediment is that which propels you. The obstacle becomes the way forward.
Right.
So, having something that could hold you back is what makes you stronger.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Clearly works.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's turned it inside out.
Right.
And made it a strength.
Right. A lot of people don't know this. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go.
But when not too long after we met,
Mhm.
I would say maybe a year or so after, I actually had a meeting with the commission for Oklahoma, and it was to try to get approved for a fight.
Right. I remember you were trying to get that
Yeah.
fight through. Yeah.
So I met with them, and I took all my karate certificates. I took my I took all my karate certificates. I took my legs off and showed them like, hey, I can move with my legs off. I can move with them on. And the only thing that stopped me from getting cleared for an MMA fight was the rule of the soles of the feet. That was the
The arch?
Yep.
Like flat-footed compared to really.
Yep. That was the only thing stopping me from
Wow.
getting an MMA fight. They said, yeah, you could do boxing, just get with so and so down in Lawton and you're good to go with that. But if that soles of the feet rule was not in there, you would be cleared because I don't have
Now,
any.
is that still a standing rule now?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow.
With just the sport in general. So, but it's fine. I've kind of accepted the fact that possibly won't happen. I mean, I could always do like a jiu-jitsu tournament and stuff.
For sure.
But I don't feel like like it's challenging, but I kind of like the challenge that I get from boxing and karate a lot.
I'll tell you right now, you won't be able to get leg locked.
Yeah.
I got leg lock once.
Did you?
Yep.
No.
One guy got me in a knee bar.
Dude, explain
Wow.
this. Explain this. Right? what happened, dude?
I was going for his leg, and he was going for mine. And we both fought so hard, but there was only so much of a hamstring curl I could do. And he magically got it somehow.
Right.
And yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy.
I'm taking it home.
Yep. He was like, I own it. So
Right.
I
It's
just
a leg
saw
lock
him
master.
I just saw him this
That's
week.
what I would have did. I would have framed it in my room with just his leg.
I just saw him this week, and I was like, "Yeah, you're still the only guy that ever get a knee bar on me."
Right. Wow, dude. So I mean, because it's just everything you're telling me just sounds fucking amazing. You know, it's just wow. You know,
You're like Oscar Pistorius
right.
without the murder
Right.
So,
or whatever happened.
what age did you begin karate?
20. It was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So I was either 20 or 21.
And what rank have you gotten to?
I'm at brown belt.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
Get out. Look at you. Huh?
I'll be going for my black belt in March.
Dude, from the amateur to the coach, baby.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And you're doing all this, man. This is why, you know, when I thought about you, I was like, man, you inspire me so much, man, every single time. You know, and with your postings on Facebook, with everything else, with your involvement with martial arts, and I love martial arts. I mean, we've been in the game a long time.
Right.
You know, because he was my coach when I was fighting at that time.
Okay.
He was my manager, my coach, my nutrition, he was building me.
Right.
So, you know, to see the things that you've accomplished is just, it blows my mind, man. It's just, it gives me the fire. I want to go out there right now and just take the world on, you know?
Yeah.
You pumped me up real good, brother.
Yeah.
So how about your boxing, man? How long you been boxing?
The same amount of time. I actually started boxing maybe a month or two after I started karate.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you go here to the local boxing gym that we have?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Lawton
dope.
boxing? Or Grady's?
Grady's.
Yeah, Grady's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grady's. You've been there, so you still going there? You still active, or
No, I gotta change the scenery. I'm just training at home right
you just
now.
training at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to a certain degree, especially as long as we've been in the game, that you don't need those to train at the gym
Mhm.
or at some academy or some. because you already know what you need to work on.
Yeah.
You already know how to condition yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I feel the same way. I've been doing a lot of working out at the house.
Right.
Like, I don't go to the gym anymore. I pretty much have weights and everything. I don't need that. I don't need nobody motivating me. It's like we have this self-motivation drive
Right.
already. You know,
Right.
we get a reps in. We get a reps in. It's just
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel you on that.
Nothing against them. It's just I
Right.
needed that change of scenery.
And sometimes you need that. You
Yeah.
know, just that separation.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
So what's your excuse me? What's your style of karate?
It is it's kind of a blend of Ryu. There was points of Kyokushin in there, and then Shotokan.
Okay.
We mainly focus on the Shotokan part,
yeah.
but it's kind of like a blend of it all. And that's at Lionheart Karate Dojo Ministries here in Lawton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the ministry part is that a church based
Mhm.
karate thing? Oh, really?
Yep.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah.
Is that the church you're attending now?
No, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, this is the place not to do it, baby. What's up?
I've been sleeping on Sundays.
Right.
Not gonna lie.
Church sleep till
Dude,
noon.
I
Yeah.
sleep on. That's
I'll
my
remember.
sleep day.
Yeah.
That's my
Praise the
sleep
sun.
day.
Sleep
Yeah.
till noon.
Dude, that's my sleep day.
Yeah.
Sunday, yeah.
That's a good day.
But yeah.
I heard it's rest day, so I rest.
Right.
That's all. That's the only thing I heard was it's rest day. Okay, legs up.
Right.
Yeah, dude. So what are you doing now? I mean, I know you said you're teaching, right?
Not necessarily teaching. I just so like if a student needs to be fed or changed, I'll do that, and then I'll help the teacher, help them.
So break it down as towards like where you're at, what are you doing, and what type of students you're actually dealing with.
Okay, so I'm with I'm at Central Middle School. I'm a personal care assistant, and so with that position, let's say like if someone has cerebral palsy or something like that, I'm just basically helping them get through the day.
Right.
So, or even if they just had some form of autism or something like that, whatever that student needs me to do, I'm there to help them. So, like if the student can't feed themselves, then I'll feed them. If they can't go to the restroom on their own and they have to wear like a pamper or diaper, then I'll change that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, I honestly never would have thought I would be working there, but I'm doing it and I absolutely love it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Man, because it sounds like not only are you helping them physically and medically, but I can just imagine how how you're making them feel like there's actually hope, like there's more than just the illness.
Yeah.
Then there's
I don't know.
Do you feel like you're making a change, or
I feel like they're making the change.
Right. Oh, okay.
Personally.
You switched it up on me. Man. Talk to me about that, man.
Because like it's kind of hard to explain, but like versus most people, they would help someone in those situations, and it's more of a like, oh yeah, I'm helping students with special needs, and they can't do for themselves, so I help them do. No, it's showing me how much patience I truly have, because everyone's like, oh, you're so patient, you're so this and that, but they don't see the real you sometimes. Like everyone's not as patient or as nice as what you think. Like I don't consider myself the nice guy. Right, I'm nice, but I can be mean too.
Right.
But
Clearly.
you know what I mean. But like, it's hard to explain still. But I still feel like every day I show up, I feel like they show me something new about myself, or they show me, something that I never paid close attention to.
And it goes to like exactly what I'm kind of going through right now too. Because right now I'm hitting jiu-jitsu really hard.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't just the jiu-jitsu. It's just been, I guess in school, man. Especially now that I'm out of school and everything else. But I really have come to make my philosophy to be that I want to have a white belt mentality.
Right.
No matter if I'm a black belt, no matter if no matter who I am or what heights I might get to,
I always want to remember that I want to keep a white belt mentality.
Right.
And it goes kind of parallel and kind of, piggybacking off to what you're saying is that how the kids are, teaching you how to be a better person every day, how to, how to evolve in yourself. I feel the same way, and that's the kind of journey that I'm on myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I feel you. I really do on that.
I also have to, I give a lot of credit to my family, but I have to give a lot of credit to the people who actually chose to allow me to be the coachable individual that I am.
Right.
But it says a lot about you, though. I mean, you got to give yourself some credit, bro.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do. Everything that I do is for a selfish reason.
Right. I get you.
So, like my martial arts, that's selfish.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do martial arts. Now I just found the people who's like, okay, no legs, no problem.
Right.
He obviously wants to learn it. He's been trying it, and if there's something he can't do, he finds a way to do it. So, like my karate instructor, Robert Zip Taylor, who just recently passed, he
Sorry to hear it.
it's something to work on. Yeah.
Did he? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
There's him, then
Condolences to his family.
thanks. There's this guy Nelson Norman who got the knee bar on me.
Ooh.
Did he?
Yeah.
Nelson Norman, leg lock wizard.
Who's the guy? There's a guy that goes to the gym sometimes, and he does karate too, and he works out
at
the
Cameron's
news.
gym.
Yes,
Yeah. I think his name's Jabori.
that's his name is. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's my boy too.
I've
He
ran
did-
into him a couple times.
and
he's
he
really
does.
cool.
Yeah, he does a whole bunch of karate too.
Yeah.
He's always telling me about his karate.
So there's the Nelson Norman dude. So him and Mr. Taylor. I went to Mr. Taylor school first, and then from there, that's when I was at Freestyle, and I was working out, and then this black belt that I went to, I think he was a brown belt at the time, that I went to school with told me about it, and I was like, okay, cool. I got into karate just because, one, I love karate, and then two, I know karatekas have crazy kicks. So I'm like, well, if I can block their kicks, I can block a normal roundhouse or something,
So I would hate a check. God, the check would hurt.
So I went and I did that, and I went a couple classes, and then I went over to the guy Nelson Norman school, and that's when I learned that. Then I met this boxer named Xavier Wilson, who's a pro now.
Okay.
I think he's like 11-1 or 12-1, something like that.
Okay.
But he's really good.
Really good.
Really good.
With this at Grady's?
I met him at where did I meet him? God, I don't remember where I met him.
Okay.
But then he took me over to Grady's, and he would work with me and help me with stand-up.
Right.
And at that time, me and my mom had a conversation because I did everything with my legs off. She had a conversation. She was like, well, what if somebody tries you with your legs on?
Okay.
Like, are you going to just say, like, you can't say, let me take my legs off. And,
Right.
And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. So I started practicing, and then I got it to the point to where I could do it decently with my legs on.
In case of emergency.
In
you
case
had
of
to get
emergency,
down. Right.
and then I started implementing it into training. So karate was with my legs on. When we sparred, I had my legs on, and then I thought, well, okay, the MMA thing's not gonna work. This is after the meeting with the commission. So I was like, all right, I'll do the boxing thing. And then that's when I ran into the boxer, and he started training me and teaching me things. And then from there, I'm training with the guy Nelson and with everyone in the karate school. And then I meet I would say one of my best friends, Nate Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
He's been there the whole way. I get this phone call. I'm going to a Bible study. I just get out of Bible study and I see that I have a missed call. I get a call about an amputee boxing association.
Right.
So the guy, Xavier, he moved to San Antonio. Well, he's been telling this guy about me. I had no idea. I get a random call.
He's over hyping you up?
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, man, I hear you're a fighter and this and that, and, I want to get you a fight. So that was my very first fight.
I remember you posting your Facebook stuff.
Yeah, I think I was 23 when that happened.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? This and that, and I tell my buddy Nate, and he's helping me prepare. Xavier's calling his coach that's here, and he's like trying to talk him into training me.
Right.
I don't think it was at that time. Like I had 2 fights already, and then he talked him into training me, and then I ended up meeting him at Grady's, and he's like, no, you don't have legs, but so
Right.
he's honest, and I'm like,
right.
I know I don't have legs.
Right.
No,
I'm familiar.
Honestly, with him being so honest, I was like, yeah, you're gonna be my coach.
Right. You
I
wanted
was
that
stubborn
brutal
about
honesty,
it, right?
Yeah.
And so he saw me in the gym, and I saw him, and he's coaching his fighters. And so I'm over there hitting the bag, but I'm watching him coach his fighters, and so I'm trying it on the bag.
Right.
Mm.
And then I guess somebody made him mad, so he calls everybody over there. Now at this point, I don't think he knows my name. He calls me over there, and I'm like, oh, he knows my name. Okay, cool. So he's showing everybody something. And then he's like, okay, so he's listening. He's watching and listening. Every time I saw him talking to someone, I would walk over there. He didn't even call my name. I would just walk over there and listen. Then I'd go try it on the bag, or I'd go try it shadow boxing or whatever. Well, 3 months passed, and he's like, okay, I'll train. So he trained me, and I got my first win. And
It's funny, 'cause Denzel Washington said once, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut.
yeah.
No, that's exactly what you did, man.
Yeah, so, I got to give the shout out to those guys. And then also I have to give a shout out to this guy, Gerald. I don't know his last name, but he was my very first, him and Paul Kazur, they were my very first MMA trainers. And that's back in 2009, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And I was training there for a while, and they were like, you should wrestle. So they really talked me into wrestling. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll wrestle.
So you didn't wrestle in high school or nothing?
I wrestled 1 year, my senior year in high school. And it helped a lot. I loved it.
Yeah. No, you got skills, I remember, man.
I wish I would have done
you
it
could
sooner.
wrestle. Yeah, you could wrestle.
But yeah, I mean, I have to tip my hat off to all of those guys, because if it wasn't for them and my blood family, I probably would not be where I am right now. So
that push. Man.
Yeah, special
that
shout out to
support.
all
It's
of
so
them.
important to have a real good base, a real good support system.
Mhm.
And it seems like you've had it. Your family seems like they've always been there. And I can see it's made a hell of a difference, man. So what is it now that and now that you've explained that with all your friends and your family backing you up and holding, but now that you're a lot older now, you doing your own swag, you got your own thing rocking.
Right.
What is that drive, man? What is that thing that every day you wake up and you stare yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself, I gotta get it? What is that fire you have?
My fire comes from not letting. That's a good question. It's something that just happened, honestly. Like, I've been pushed so much, like, yo, go for it, try it. Okay, I try it, just try it. And then, sometimes when you hear no, some people would let that stop them, but I'm like, but I'm doing it, so I'm going to ignore that no until you say yes. But all in all, it's more so off of self-improvement.
Yeah.
I like the challenging aspects of it, like especially with.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Because
I think
some
it would
people
be
will
the
see it as an
challenge.
end game,
Yeah.
and you see it as a beginning.
Right. Well, this is all I know.
That's dope.
You know, I could understand if I lost my legs a different way.
Right.
I probably wouldn't be the same.
Like in a later age or something.
Mhm.
Could have,
Like,
things
you
might have
know,
been different.
yeah, right.
Right.
From
What you got for Georgie's corner?
Oh man, I don't think I can show it because I don't want to hurt his reputation. Yeah.
What did Jordy? Did you? What did I tell you, Jordy?
So no, we had a completely different guest. First
We
of
did.
all.
We did. So you prepared Georgie's corner for a different guest. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we sure did. Let me turn my.
All right. All right. Let's
So
shoot from the hip, Jordy. Shoot from the
you
hip.
sure? Because you work. I can bleep out your employer's name. We can.
No.
Like because people get so finicky in this.
Let's see what's up, Jordy. We'll
first,
go over the editing.
Because the guest we were going to have on was the owner of a nightclub in town.
He was the owner. He's the owner of.
And so I was
the
going
other
to
place.
introduce.
I didn't want to promote him anymore.
Strange nightclubs
Oh,
from around
sorry.
the world.
Yeah, I don't
want
want to promote his
Forgive
name.
me.
I don't want to throw none of his.
I was going to ask him like business
He's dead to
questions, like what do you think the viability of this is? And there's a big interest in the future for
Right.
entertainment stuff.
Right.
So there is a new inspiring venture. It keeps getting shot down due to local legislation and stuff. But robot strippers, nightclubs.
Robots. Listen, Jordy. You couldn't have picked a better corner. Robot strippers.
robot
Marsh.
strippers.
You know you have cyborg, baby.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know you have cyborg, baby. Let's look at these cyborg strippers, Jordy. Where's this at, bro?
So it started in L.A. as a part of a.
Well, I know they're coming out when you sex robots.
All right, have you ever heard this theory that...
So there you go. First of all,
Holy shit!
Whoa!
and this is a part.
Is that a
of
Walmart camera,
This is
dude?
an acid trip.
Look at that camera, though. Is that a Walmart camera of all
H.R.
things?
Giger
Like a.
had a wet dream at Walmart.
Oh wow, dude.
So I wanted to talk about the viability of something like this, and it goes deeper. It goes way deeper. So
I
this
love
is-
the objectification.
No. See, that's the next thing. I gotta find the lady's name to get.
Like, are the robots going to be upset with us
No,
that we
if they
objectified them?
drops?
Like,
Eventually, where's this
eventually
going to, though?
robots are going to have human rights, and you can't beat your robot sex
So
doll,
that was just a part of
That's
a
AI?
or you're going to jail.
of a
Talking
tech
about,
insider
AI
show
having
in
rights?
LA.
For sure.
Right, but there is a call. There's a great call for consensual robot sex now. So there's
Robots are programmed. What's consensual?
So there's a woman trying to open up, I think it's in Texas, a consensual robot bar that you would actually have sex with the robots,
Oh wow.
and you'd bring your own attachment to.
Well, there's a comedian
Okay,
actually.
robot is a derivative of a Russian word that means slave.
Robot?
Robot.
How sure are you on this?
100%.
Okay.
Okay, so but yeah, and then you
I wish I
would
could say
have
100% in Russian. I don't know. Not
So,
that good.
But do you know that there's a comedian right now? I think it's Whitney Cummings, and she has a stand up, and she has a sex robot that looks just like her. So the comedy skit is between her and the sex robot. It looks identically like her, and I guess they have a program to answer questions.
How
That's
fucking
terrifying.
narcissistic do you have to be?
So,
That's
To
what they're doing.
be okay with the idea of bringing your sex robot on stage and be like, this is going to be entertaining for
first
you
of all,
guys.
it's the clone question: is it masturbation or is it sex? Second, what does our guest think? Do you think this is a viable business solution? Would you go to a robot strip club?
No.
No.
Dude, I would
What?
well, just to check it out though.
Well, probably to check
Just
it
to
out.
check- I mean, but not in a sexual way.
Yeah,
I got a
no.
question.
in a-
I'd just be
Are the
curious.
bouncers robots?
We need
No,
a
they're flushing
Marsh. We need a
Would
part.
they
You know what I'm
get
saying? We
upset
take
if
one
they
out.
touch the
Take the
robots?
stripper's legs. Like, let's go, bro.
So,
Be like, hey, I can add this
they
to
might
my
be-
leg.
what is-
Hey, hands off the merchandise.
So what are those robots from? Fucking what's that? RoboCop, like the.
They look like the robots from Star Wars.
Those are the
though.
bouncers.
Yeah, the head with
Yeah.
the drones.
Yeah.
All right, so
The-
listen to this theory. Is the reason that the Terminators are so bad at killing people and so attractive is because all these robot AI started from sex bots. Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger goes back in time. He's just basically
Well, he
every
starts out
housewife's wet dream. Starts out
right,
naked.
right.
He's just like, I need to go kill every Sarah
Yeah,
Connor
yeah.
as ineptly as possible. Okay.
Right?
And then it
It was
ends up
good.
with the liquid metal thing that can just change its
Yeah.
shape into
Yeah.
whatever. It's all about sex.
So are you saying it's just like a really
That's a good
bad,
conspiracy
kink
theory you got
fetish?
going there.
It's not my idea.
Oh, it's not.
No, I just
Who'd you regurgitate this from?
yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, what you
Man,
got
see
next,
things.
Jordy?
Man, that was like a big part.
Let's
Like,
move on. What
it's like
we
there's-
got next? Let's move
There's
on.
other clubs.
Dude, who
like-
would go to a robot strip club?
Man, listen. It's not about the who. It's
You
about
have
the
to be
why.
really
Listen,
intimidated by
My
women.
boy gets a flat tire.
So
He knows where to pull in.
So
You know what I'm saying?
so
You know what I'm saying, Marsh?
So do we
That's
tip them
fine.
with nuts and bolts, or do we tip them with money?
These are good questions.
Right. No, you know what they have?
Cryptocurrency.
They have a debit card swipe around their chest, so you just kind
No, right in the ass crack.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, Jordy, what you got, man?
Wait, what if you
So,
got the chip? You got to
So
slide
fuck
it.
it. So
in.
actually, you
Well-
know the plus thing about
That's
robot
crazy.
bars in strippers is that you don't have to worry about problems 5 months down the
Listen,
road.
can we pass the robots now? Let's
I
get
mean,
past
listen.
the strippers.
I can't get past the robots, brother.
We'll
If
make,
the
we'll
future's
put a pin
gonna
on
be
that and come
fucking
back
So
to it.
the next thing, because again, this was themed around bars.
No, that's fine. Let's see
So,
what you got, bro.
there's
Let's have a drink.
There's a bar in Germany that is really just really odd. Its name is Kolo Bar, and it's
What?
designed off toilets and like horror. There's a hammer that slams down on you.
It's a horror bar?
Like it's more like you sit on toilets. You drink out of pee containers, like hospital pee containers.
What?
There's a
So that's the gimmick of the bar?
yeah. It's just to
I
make
see.
you as uncomfortable as possible.
Wow.
And there's worse things,
Yeah.
especially when
They
you-
have similar ones here in the U.S. They have one in Texas called the Heart Attack Grill, and it's
That's
like
way different.
you go. Well, yeah, but you go in
This
there and the
is
theme is
fucking
like
demented. What the fuck is wrong?
you
with
go in
these
there and the
people?
theme is like a hot. What the? It's a dude. That's a urinal thing he's drinking out. of.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
That's not cool.
That's definitely a bedridden pea pot.
Jordy, I'm starting to worry about you.
Man, this is nothing
I'm
compared
starting to
to
worry
anime.
about you. All right, what you got next?
This is nothing compared to their pornography.
Yeah, no, you're.
No. No, it's not, dude.
I would make a Holocaust joke, but I don't.
So,
No, let's just
Yeah.
let's just get by.
Something
Just
Just saying,
Our
let's
it
move
takes
on.
some really extreme things to get those people excited.
So, would you go to that bar after a big fight? And they're like, hey, let's get you fight in Germany. And they go, yo, I know this really cool bar.
Nicht, nine.
You drink out of urine containers. You up for it?
I'd go, but I'm not drinking anything.
They're
Nine.
drinking
Yeah.
kind beer in
No.
Das Haus.
So,
It doesn't even look. It doesn't
I
even
don't
sound
need to
cool.
drink dehydration from something that I would put dehydration
I mean,
in.
it's reusable that way, right? You get that drinking, you just shove it under the table. You get, oh, Johnson's Germany, right?
I'm
So-
good.
All right, Jordy, what you got?
So, and then, like, that's really all I have. So I thought, we would.
What the fuck?
That's it, Jordy.
So
You know what?
there's-
We're gonna end this corner thing if we need more. we need more.
You
Bro,
just made us all slightly
yeah.
uncomfortable.
Last time you gave us two. Now, the people like the corner. Now you give us two more.
Well, you can have the robots, or you can
should at
drink
least-
the beer
yeah.
out of the urinal.
Well,
Yeah.
because I thought, we'd go into like business and like the housing wise, why you wouldn't do that.
Oh, it's
the viability of, it was very guest dependent. And I know we talked a little bit about what to bring.
Oh,
Like,
I got it.
yeah.
Now I
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
It's all. This happens to me in Jeopardy. I can't remember the category.
right, right. But man, I tell you what you got here?
Because I know we talked about the boxing helping cerebral palsy.
Yes, I did. I gave you that. I sent you
Yeah.
that link.
Like
I wanted you to
helping
bring-
it along.
I
or
want to
what
know.
do
You know who sent me that link? Nick's wife sent me the link because she knows that we're always in MMA.
Oh, I got you. Motor
in
coordination.
MMA, and she's saying that she
Punching.
Sent me, yeah, she
Punching
sent me
helps with
this
cerebral
check
palsy.
this out. It's pretty dope. I was reading
I'm
up
not sure
on
if
it
this is the same
and saying how
article.
boxing
I
is
found it
helping
the
people
last
with
time.
with
But it's
Brain
actually-
injury.
with brain injuries,
Yeah.
with motor functions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so it's a whole article on how it's improving people's lives, how boxing is improving people's lives.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I guess
but-
it's helping their motor functions. As
Yeah.
people.
I got this other thing.
1980 to 1985,
Steve-
boxing
Steve
helped
Alexi.
everybody's lives.
Alexi.
It was amazing. It was a golden era.
Steve
Well,
Alexi.
medically, it's doing some stuff.
So I found this guy, Steve Alexi. He has cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
Body
Oh yeah, I've seen this dude.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
he is awesome, man.
Yeah.
He is, dude.
Like,
It made me think of Miss Olympia just happened.
It
Right.
reminds me of Steve-O.
Miss Olympia just won. We have a new Mr. Olympia.
Mr. Olympia? Who's Mr.
That's
Olympia?
awesome.
2019 Mr. Olympia.
That
I
is
can't remember
awesome.
his name. I was just watching
I
today.
couldn't imagine because bodybuilding is exactly that. It's building the body.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
lot of
Yeah,
sacrifice.
that's
It can be insane.
And whenever your body's kind of against you in a very
Right. I give him so much credit in that way
Yeah.
because his body's trying to do the opposite of what he's trying
it's
to
like
do.
wrangling a wild horse.
And you can tell, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna say, but he's been hitting it hard.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got
he's
good
really-
contraction
Yeah,
too.
he's really put some work
like,
in.
you can
Look at him, bro.
Man.
You
Hell
can
yeah.
see it.
He fills up the room.
That's
Yeah.
dope, dude. That's so dope.
That's
Well,
all.
that's
See, but the stuff
impressive.
like that motivates me.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is that. Those are the true grinders.
Yeah,
I mean, try to wake up to that dude's life and still grind.
yeah.
Still say I'm not gonna let that beat me down. That to me is everything.
Look at that. You can see his hand.
He's got definition,
Yeah,
bro.
his
I mean,
definition's
he's
crazy.
dude. He's been at the gym. He's hitting it hard.
He's been killing it.
And me and my wife have been talking a little bit about things that get in our way in life.
Right.
And a big part of like what's holding me back is that I'm kind of spoiled by the because I grew up sick and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I've been spoiled that people are going to come down to my level. I don't have to go up to their level. And so I see things like this, and I just feel like an awful person because like I don't have this guy's issues, right? And like where could I be if I had even an ounce of his drive? And so it's a call to me to not be spoiled. To get to.
Well, you ain't gonna be spoiled around here, Jordy. You better fucking saddle up, son. Anyways, let's go ahead and wrap this shit up. You know what I mean? I gotta get.
All right.
But Marsh, my boy, man, I really
Yeah,
appreciate you
great.
coming in, saving the
I
show.
appreciate
Thanks a
it.
lot, man.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate you coming
Thank
in
you.
and what you're doing, man. I mean,
Thank you.
keep it going. Like I said, what do you think? It was a hell of a show.
Fantastic.
For the first episode, it couldn't have gotten any better, man.
Appreciate you guys.
So,
Highly inspiring,
yeah.
Thanks.
for sure.
So from the amateur and the coach, we out.